Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here. I hope everybody is adjusting to the time change. Yay, there's Vicky. Don't have a poor connection. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Oh my goodness, the cat's gonna make an appearance tonight. That's Gaia. Say hey, Gaia. Hi, Vicky.
Hey everybody.
And this is Gaia back here.
Oh, hey Gaia.
She's very frisky.
Awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, it's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you too. I don't know what's going on with my lighting, but it's fine.
Yeah, you're fine. You look great. It looks gauzy,
Yeah, I don't know what's
in
going on.
a
Like
good
my
way.
monitor. Yeah, I don't know how to fix it. It's fine.
I know. Gaia is the mascot. You got that right. Look at everyone saying hi. Gaia, everyone's saying hi
Hi,
to you.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I saw my girl Gaia in the background.
Girl. Gaia
Yeah.
after last week, like, oh my gosh,
Oh my
Vicky, she
gosh.
she knocked down the tripod um when we were filming together last week. And
Fantastic.
yeah, so I feel like she kind of just wants to be a part. So
Yeah,
she might pop in.
she has
I
to
think
make her like cameo real quick. So
my dog
hopefully
needs
she's
to
doing it
barking,
earlier.
so I
Oh,
apologize in
well, I mean, if he
advance.
wants to join in, because
Sure.
he just had like surgery, didn't he? Or
No,
like,
no. Look, she's over here sleeping. It's all
oh,
good.
okay.
It's all good. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Okay, good. Good.
Yes, yes. Well, we're so glad that you have joined us today. We're glad. Hi to everybody out there. Vicky, this is such an amazing group of people that like join us every week. And like from all over, like from Australia and India and,
Oh, wow.
all parts of California. Like it is the best. It is the best community moment. And we totally look forward to it. And
Yes, I love
so,
that.
yeah, they have lots of great conversation and they had lots of great questions to this experience. But we are just so glad to have you here. And I'm going to introduce you. Oh, yeah, people from New York.
Sure.
So Vicky is, the beauty of us inviting Vicky on for this particular live is that we met organically through Sincerely Divorced. She was kind and commented on how much this account she resonated with her from her own divorce experience. And then we, in turn, learned what an amazing artist she is,
Incredible.
and incredible artist. Is like a self-taught artist. So she's originally trained as an engineer, and then just decided that she wasn't meant to mathematically model groundwater, which sounds really complex. I don't even know what that's about. So she taught herself how to use Illustrator. She taught herself, how to design, and greeting cards have always been the medium by which that she loved because of their ability to spread kindness and positivity. And again, if you've been around Sincerely Divorced for any length of time, you know how much Hillary and I are committed to the handwritten note and to spreading positivity and kindness in that way. So her first card was published in 1999. She's worked with American Greetings. She's licensed thousands of designs worldwide. And so we are really, truly honored to have you here, Vicky, because beyond the work being so beautiful, what underlies all of that is such a kind spirit and a spirit of support that we felt like was important to talk about, especially when people have gone through divorce or are going through divorce. So sending a card is one thing, but it's the underlying kindness and those qualities that make a difference for people. And we've experienced what that feels like going through divorce. And we've also probably known what that experience is to support someone going through divorce or similar adversity. So thank you for being here
Thanks for
and
having
allowing
me.
us, yeah, allowing
Yeah.
us to pick your brain about,
Yeah.
how we can spread positivity, and especially in a time when there is great adversity, right? And that
Yes.
could show up in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
very
Yeah,
cool, very
I
cool.
know. And I think too, like, so your card designs, I think that they would be one that I would have picked up in a store. Like I'm gonna be like eyeballing like all like the boutiques and stuff that I visit now because I definitely like would have picked it up because you know what else I really love about your work and just the conversation that we had about, what inspires your messaging is the little bit of humor that you lace throughout it. And that resonates with us a lot because if you follow us, you know that
Yeah,
there's humor is a big part of, what we share and how we kind of bring community together. And I just think that it's just such a huge part of not only healing, but just life in general. And
absolutely.
I just so appreciate that that's such a big part of your work, in addition to, all of the, beautiful positivity that you add to the world through your art.
Well, thanks.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, our first question for you really is, how did you decide, especially in a world where I think sometimes human connection is undervalued, why have you decided to keep doing this, right? Because the world is very different than what it was in 1999 when you started this. I mean, I recall 1999 because my kids like to say like the 1900s.
Yeah.
But as the world has changed and it seems like technology and other things come in the way of that, why have you remained so true to the idea of sentiment being an important part of the human experience and to express that?
I mean, I think connection in general, like whether it's through like sending a greeting card or, just connecting like on a personal level, I think it just kind of reminds us all that we're human and, everything's moving so fast now, right? We're inundated with information. We're inundated with things to do and our lists and like performing and everybody's moving on to the next thing. And somewhere in all that, I think we've lost kind of some of the small, honest moments that you have in like a real human connection, right? Like even a digital connection doesn't feel quite as personal as sending a card.
yes,
I'm gonna
I
plug greeting
totally
cards, so
agree.
it's fine. And I think it's undervalued because I think we've traded vulnerability for like efficiency, right? Like people operate like on a superficial level, and everything's kind of shinier and prettier and shorter and more efficient. And sometimes real connection kind of lives more in those real moments, right? Like those shared laughter, shared jokes, shared humor, shared moments of crying on each other's shoulders. Like those are the things that kind of make us feel a little less alone. So I think that as we're old enough. I'm old enough, I guess, right? Like I remember 1999. I'm old enough to remember what it was like in the world before technology, right? We're the last generation that the 1900s that kind of lived in this world where it was less impacted by technology, right? Like we
Mhm.
were forced to learn how to interact face to face because that was like our only choice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's more important now than ever for people to learn how to connect on like a deeper level. And so that's why I think that I'm still committed to the kind of work I do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think there's
Mhm.
something too so beautiful about when you receive a card. It's like it kind of forces you to almost pause and like have a moment of mindfulness,
Yeah.
which I think is so important because, like you said, we've traded in a lot of ways, not all the ways, but a lot of ways,
Yeah.
we've traded that, efficiency for that, that experience. And for me, when I get a card in the mail, well, first of all, like mail now has become like, I hate getting mail unless it's a card,
Right.
right?
Right. It's
Like,
just like,
you
oh,
know,
there's another bill.
exactly, exactly. But there's something so special about, I don't know, it's like you can feel the person, like you see their handwriting, you feel like their
Mhm.
energy that came through with the message. And I don't know, I just think that it kind of forces us to pause a little bit. So I just love that, as a greeting card designer, like you also like you're thinking about that like when you're designing these because I don't know, it's just such a special experience.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
again, we're paper nerds, so
I know,
like
like
I
paper
get
people
that.
are paper people, right? I know there's
Yes,
people that are not, but I am too, through and through.
yes,
So yeah, I think that
yes,
there's definitely like it's a connection because somebody actually had to go through the effort
yep,
to buy the card, find the card that was perfect for the person they were giving it to and whatever sentiment they were trying to deliver. And then they have to write it and then they have to put post, stamp on it and mail it. And there's a lot more effort involved too, right? So
yeah,
um yeah, I think it's yeah, I think it's same. I enjoy getting mail too. Not
yeah,
all the mail, but
yes,
cards.
yes.
Yeah.
This kind of mail is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Um,
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Hillary.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that we're just gonna shift a little bit and talk a little
Sure,
bit more tactically about divorce and how we show support during divorce. So,
sure.
what do you think stops people from showing or knowing how to show support to people that are going through it, in your
Um,
opinion?
I think that a lot of people probably want to show up. Like from my experience, I know a lot of people wanted to show up, but I think that it's a really uncomfortable topic for people that haven't necessarily experienced it. So when, they don't know what to say. And so I think some people kind of get frozen,
Yeah.
like, right, like they want to say the perfect thing. They don't know what to say. Like, and there's no script for it. Every situation's different. Every person's different. But I think that people kind of freeze. Like they may want to lean in, but they just don't really know. They overthink it, maybe, right?
Hmm.
And then they, maybe they, so then they get scared, they don't know what to say, and then it just gets awkward, right? But even that,
Yeah,
even awkward kindness can be impactful, I think, right? So
I think so.
I mean, I think that the same thing, like, so when I'm writing like a greeting card, sometimes people like to pick a card that says the words that they didn't necessarily know how to say themselves, right?
Yeah.
So I think that that's difficult too. And I think it comes down to, again, connection, right? Like if you're not like kind of flexing your connection muscles and you're just like, I don't know what to say, like I feel bad and I want to connect with you and I want to be here for you, but people just don't know how to show up because
Hmm.
Mhm.
again, especially since if they've never really experienced it, it can be, there's so many different layers to it, right? There's like dependent on like the situation, like there's all different kinds of emotions all balled up in it, right? So I think people just don't know where to like really start. I don't know. I had
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
really good friend of mine. Years after I'd kind of gone through mine, she called me up and said, "Wow," and she unfortunately had to go through her own situation. And I remember she called and said, I had no idea how hard this was. And I really hope I was there for you. And I was like, well, you were, but she didn't, then she experienced it
Yeah.
and was like, oh, holy crap, this is like harder than I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be. Or like, you
Yeah.
just don't realize like the complexity involved, right? Like it's just hard. There's like so many different emotions involved in it, right? So I think that that probably freezes people. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And also too, like the stigma. I mean, we talk about this all the time, the stigma of divorce, because like if you're trying to support a friend and you go into like a big name greeting card place, like you're not gonna find, actually I'm not gonna say probably, because I know you're not gonna find a card on divorce with words for you to say, because I don't know, like we just haven't normalized that in a way. So, I mean, I can see how there's a lot of barriers to, providing support when there's not really a lot of ways to learn how to support. So,
Yeah,
I can see how that is, a barrier to people. And, I think that's why it's so important that we talk about it and, in all the ways, right? Not just like through a sincerely divorced divorce account, but also through like a greeting card or just like, and not, other ways that we can support people that just makes people feel seen and connected.
absolutely.
Yeah. And someone just commented really good. Okay, two comments. So one, people would like you to explore exploding cards or cards with glitter. So
Oh gosh.
Was that, do they really want glitter cards? Like, I don't know if anybody really wants an exploding glitter
yeah,
card.
exactly. Like I don't necessarily want glitter cards, but like maybe like a pop-up or something. I don't know. Like
I
when
mean,
we get together and start designing something exciting, so we can meet this need,
Yeah.
maybe we'll come up with something that's like doesn't create too much mess. But I just had to
perfect.
shout out the person who suggested it. But then
Amazing.
someone made a great point about a lot of people don't know how long this whatever feelings associated with divorce happen, right? So it's like in the beginning it feels like everybody is sort of around maybe for that initial breaking of news, and then as time goes on people are like, oh, she's fine. I mean, I've had a person say to me at one point, like, why are you still talking about your divorce? Isn't it over? I'm like, well, I mean,
Well,
technically it is final, but like,
Legally. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, but there's still a lot going on,
yeah,
and so I
yeah,
think it's like one of those examples of like peeling back the layers. But Vicky, since you've come to this, like in particular supporting this concept of supporting people through divorce, do you remember some of the ways that people supported you, like the specific ways or the things that are uncommon that, for a friend who might be joining us today, who's watching someone go through it.
yeah.
Do you have anything that you remember being special?
I think that the most straightforward thing that someone can do is just kind of be there to listen and just hold some of it for you. Like, just be available, like listen to the venting, like, don't judge, like in the moment, like what you may be saying. Just listen and try not to fix because it's just so many things, right, that are hard to hold. One real specific like thing that I have is that I went to therapy. Like I have two kids, like they went to therapy, but my older son at the time, he was young, like he was like 8 or 9. I remember I brought him there and I sat in the waiting room, and then like the person called me in and she was like, "Hey, I just want you to know that this is what happened." So apparently my son said, "Hey, no offense to you and your profession, but I don't know you. You're a stranger. I'm not going to share my innermost feelings with you. So I'm going to sit in silence with you." I was like,
Hmm.
Okay.
okay. And I respected that, right? But, in talking to her about like what tools can I give him to, navigate this, she said, it's really important that he has someone else to speak to, right? Like, and if it's not me, it should be somebody else. And so, I asked him, like, who else do you trust? And, he said, I trust, it was like one of my friends, like one of my mom friends. And, my dear friend invited us over every week for dinner, every Wednesday night for months. We would go to their house for dinner and just kind of have like they're kind of our second family anyway, right? But we would hang out with them, the kids would play, and we'd have dinner, and then she'd make time to pull, just to say, hey, do you want to touch base? And they just say, she just listen. I mean, she's not a psychologist, right? But
Right.
that kind of support, for me and for my children, like it was really a
Hmm.
special moment, right? Like that takes a real special person to like offer that kind of support. And it was really unexpected. I was like, oh, okay. Like that was, I mean, how kind, right?
Hmm.
So I think humor, like humor is a huge tool of mine, right? Like I think laughing and lightening things up and sharing memes, like just checking in on like you're going through this new norm, right? You're trying to figure out like what do my days look like? And I had two really young kids, so I was home at night a lot because I couldn't, I had the kids here, on my own. And it was quiet, it was weird. And so during those moments, like it was helpful to get like a message from a friend, like, hey, how are you doing? Or even if we couldn't hang out, right? Because I was here and the kids were sleeping or whatever. It was just really nice to not feel kind of alone in those moments.
Hmm.
And I think you're right. I think it lasts like a long time. I mean, I still carry grief, and that happened years and years ago for me,
Yeah.
right? Like I worked through most of it, but I'm co-parenting, lucky me.
Yeah.
And and if you know, you know. Um, anyway, so there's still things that come up like pretty regularly, right? And
Hmm.
I'm still working through it all, right? And my friends that have known me through the whole thing, like it still comes up, and we still talk about it. And I mean, I don't know if that's something just like any other kind of grief. Like I think that's something that you just kind of have to live with, like you have to kind of sit with and kind of carry,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't know. I don't know if those are like words of wisdom or not, but obviously you can also send them a card, something that makes them laugh. So
Yeah.
Obviously. Well, and I think that that's another one of your like really true gifts is that there's like an optimism, right? So even in the really difficult moments when we're holding grief, and this is something that Hillary and I are really committed to,
mhm.
and I think people appreciate it, is that no one chooses to be in this divorce, in these divorce streets, so to speak, right? No one planned for it, but
Right.
we really try to strike a very optimistic tone about being here and
Yeah.
about what's ahead. And so when you're actually like in the lab and you're writing words and you have to sort of hold in your mind maybe all of the things that people could possibly want to use your car. Look, Mike wants to buy some cards, but how do you consistently strike a positive tone? I mean, through the artwork. I mean, I feel like that speaks to me a lot of ways. A lot of
Hmm.
times, like when you post something, I'm like, this just makes me happy. Like,
Yes.
and then, but I'm curious about your process, especially because in this day and age when people are like using chat GPT all the time, like maybe finding those words for yourself, like that's an easier thing to do than to find the words. So how do you do that, or how might others approach that?
I mean, I think when I'm writing, like I have ideas like throughout like the day, right? Like I scribble them down in random places, and I've always found inspiration. My words are inspired by like my own kind of personal relationships, right? So I think that
Mhm.
when I'm lost for inspiration, I think about like someone in my life that I want to connect with and what they may want to hear, or what I may want to say to them, right? But I've never written like poetry. I am not a poetry greeting card person. Like my cards have always been really straightforward and very conversational. So something that I would sit down and say to somebody, or something that I would want to hear like in a moment, right? So a lot of the artwork that includes words, like my words, sometimes are just for myself, right? Like I have a lot of my own artwork kind of throughout my house, like, you know, funny ones, not funny ones. I mean, you know, some of the more like mean ones like that I
The
may have
snarky
written
ones.
don't get published. No, you know, but when you know when you're brainstorming, I mean, I think it's like obviously it's really important to me to stay optimistic in general, right? Like I think that like of course I've gone through like real negative things in my life, just like anybody has. Everybody has their own struggles, their own stuff. I'm a child of divorce, so like my levels of shame that I hold are like very deep. Like we did
Mhm.
a lot of you know, but you know, so there's like still a stigma like I have to get over in my own head. So I think that again, I think it all kind of comes back to humor and shared experiences, right? Like I think that you guys are creating a community of people that can connect in a positive way around a really hard and difficult thing. I mean, you know, it's hard and your world's kind of upside down for a while, right? Like it took me a
Yeah.
really long time to kind of find my new norm because, you know, this life that I built with somebody else, like just all of a sudden, like, you know, I had to untangle it all, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot that goes with that, that if you've never had to go through it, that it's hard to kind of verbalize. So, I mean, I think again, sometimes it just
Mhm.
comes down to saying something really heartfelt and simple that that I may have wanted to hear in that moment, or you know, something that I want to give someone else the words to communicate to somebody that they care about in their life. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
no, but it's chaos in here. Like I have ideas written all over the place.
No, I totally get that. Like between my notes app, sticky notes,
Yep.
like my planner, like I don't even know where half the stuff I write down is, but
Yeah,
sometimes I'll
same.
come upon it and I'm like, oh, that was a good idea that I had, 2 months ago or something.
Right. Or it's like in like in an app somewhere, or like on, you know,
Yes,
wherever it is. Yeah, same.
absolutely. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And you know what? I also think like there's something really beautiful too about like I've seen cards that it say something like, and this kind of especially I think applies to when you're trying to support somebody through divorce, especially if you've never been through it. It's just like the honesty of it, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to support you, but I'm here. Like
That's what
I,
yeah, yeah.
I just think that that vulnerability and that honesty is just, I think that that means so much, and I feel like that that could be like just having that honest conversation, it kind of opens the door to like just a more authentic way that you can help. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate like the cards that are like very straightforward and kind of like dry humor like that are just like, I don't know what to do, but I'm here like if you need me kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and I think that
Mhm.
that's it's again the gesture, right? Like somebody's
yeah.
like saying, like I'm here to for whatever you want. And you know, there were times when like I was going through my own process that I didn't really know what I wanted or needed
Yeah,
in a
no,
moment,
same, yeah.
right? Like you just don't. You're just like I have no idea. And sometimes I just wanted to sit and watch a movie with somebody and not
Yeah.
talk and
Mhm.
just be with someone that
Yep.
you know. Um, yeah, yeah, I think that the same. Like I think that just and that's I think is an important thing to say. Like if you've got somebody or if you know somebody that's going through it, I think just saying those words to somebody like means the world, right? Because then you know that
Yes.
you're not alone and you've got somebody that's thinking about you and that can support you when you need it.
Yes. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think we've shared this with you, Vicky, before, and I know we've shared it in multiple ways, like in the account,
Hmm.
but Bethany and I, that was like a huge part of like us supporting one another, like through divorce, was sending each other cards. And a lot of
That's
them would
great.
be, sometimes there would be like a very long message if like, one of us went through something, all the things that you go through like throughout the process, like,
Yeah, or
just the
yeah,
different milestones, different steps, or it could be something so like just funny,
yeah,
just to kind of, you know, just to break the mood a little bit.
yep,
And I don't know, I just it felt kind of like a pen pal, but like not, because like we were like right down the street from each other. Like, but it was so like I still have all the cards like in a box somewhere, and sometimes I still like pick them out at random and just I don't know, it's just so special. Like I just think it's such a important thing that I think makes a huge difference, and people people don't, I don't want to say that it's, I think it is a little underappreciated and undervalued sometimes, like these days with the
Yeah.
digital, all the digital ways that you can connect. But I'm a firm believer in the power of the paper.
Same,
Right.
same, absolutely. It's something you can
Yeah.
keep too. Like you can, it's not like, a text message goes away and it feels kind of impersonal,
Yeah.
right? Like I know lots of people that keep cards like that are important or that people have given them throughout the years that
Mhm.
made them feel special in like the moment, right? So you can always pick that up and kind of revisit that moment. So I think it's kind of another keepsake. Not to keep plugging greeting cards, but like I
Yeah. I mean,
obviously enjoy them. So
Right.
yes, so do we.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
So I,
well, and also, I mean, the tactile experience of it, of holding a card, like it just adds another dimension, to that moment, right? It's
yeah,
like I can physically feel this, and then your mind maybe stops racing
yeah,
for a minute.
yeah,
And that is a gift in and of itself that,
yeah,
probably the card sender didn't necessarily realize is that, this person's going to hold this in their hand for a minute and maybe just not think about going to court next week,
yep.
right,
or something along those lines.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think, yeah,
agreed.
maybe
Yep.
getting a commission from the greeting card industry for like how we're shouting out the
I know,
importance
right?
of
Well, I mean, I guess I
of
was bringing it like
cards.
better, but I mean, but I think that any other way, I think a text message, I think like any just reminder, and I think that you're right. I think that like you're living it and like breathing it when you're going through the process, and like just getting like a breather from it, like getting pulled out of like the moment that you're in and into like again through humor, which is what I really enjoy. I had some really good friends that we should just get together and like laugh a lot. And that was like a really great way to kind of like let off some steam in a different way, right?
Yes.
Like we could vent
So
or not
true.
vent. We didn't need to talk about it. We could
Mhm.
just laugh. And that was like a really great um like safe place to kind of release some of like all the emotions that are involved with it, right?
Yeah.
So
So much heaviness. So it's nice to
yeah,
like put that heaviness down and just feel like a normal person
yes,
for a little bit.
yes,
Right.
Um,
Right.
so
absolutely.
So I think like the another point is that the flip side, right, of like reaching out to someone or connecting with someone is asking for help, comfortable asking for the support that you need, because even when someone does send a card, and it is important to express vulnerability, like I don't know you, but I think there's also another piece to this, which is like getting comfortable asking for the help that you need, which is a challenge for people going through divorce, because one, we've never been there before, like just like maybe the person sending us a card or wanting to know how to support us, they've never been in that position before. Well, even if we're on our second divorce or whatever, we've never been in with that situation before. So acknowledging, that, again, I guess that there's two sides of that coin, right? Being able to express what you need and the importance of doing that, and that is a shared vulnerability that two people can have. Like, I think that I don't know. I want to just talk about that as tension in terms of like how we ask for help.
Yeah.
What
I mean,
what makes it hard to do that? Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's hard. It was hard for me to ask for help, right? Like my family didn't live nearby, and I mean, I had a lot of close friends that were offering support, but I wanted to be strong for my kids. I wanted to be strong in the moment. But I think that those two things can coexist. You can ask for help and be strong, right? Like I think that you can. I don't know, like it's not like giving something up, right? Like it's not like, hey, I did this myself. Like you don't get like a medal, right? Like it's good to ask for help for any like traumatic life event, really, right? Like it's always better to share it because then it's not like a story that you kind of dust under the rug and don't deal with, right? I don't know. How do you guys feel about it?
yeah, I mean, I think that when you share it, it's like you kind of like allow yourself to put some of it down, and not that you're like forcing someone else to pick it up, but it's just like I
Yeah,
don't know, it's kind of just it makes you rethink it, it makes you think that, I don't have to like have all of this burden swirling around in my head all the time. And I don't
Mhm.
know, I think that offer you, and if it's that, like that's huge,
Mhm.
yeah,
um so I think that that's like a really beautiful way that you can be supported and you can show support too.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. It's multifaceted. I mean, there's just like a lot of different emotions, right? And every situation's different, right? Like I think that the stigma like makes like I still feel like sometimes strange saying it loud. I don't talk about it very often. Like it's not something that
Yeah.
I bring up a lot in socials. I mean, people that know me know, right?
Right.
But it's not something that comes up in just general conversation. Like it's not like the people that I know that know me on a personal level, like obviously know about it. But there's like this. I mean, I think that acknowledging it and talking about it, like you can feel broken one way, like, one way or another, right? Like, and then feeling like accepted again, like in a different way, right? Like separate from the couple that you were, but like on your own and individual, right? Like I did a lot of work on who I was and what I wanted to be and who I wanted to be. And like, you kind of have to rebuild like your whole version of like your life again, right? Like, what does it look like and how can I take the best care of myself? And then
Hmm.
finding kind of your own, true like center and, all the things that maybe you didn't have the space to do before, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm talking in circles, but like, you guys got
No,
me past
but
my
I mean, there,
bedtime.
yeah, no, and that's a big part of it too, though. Like, because you are like, you're unlearning and learning at the same time. Someone actually commented today that like going through divorce has been like a factory reset on their entire
Yeah,
life. So it's like you get wiped back to like what you were originally, but like you're kind of like figuring out how that actually works, like
yeah,
all those things about you that because I forgot who I was
yeah,
in a lot of time, in a lot of ways. And so like going through this experience has been not only like me remembering who that person was, but it's kind of like forming my own person that's like lived through these life experiences. And I don't know, it's just a very interesting rebuilding. And I think it's just, if like how like transformative it can be. And
yeah,
I just think that there's so many ways that you can, you know that it can turn out and it can go, and there's something really beautiful about that in addition to being terrifying. So I don't know, in that way, like, there's so many ways that you can support somebody through that, like even if it's just like, I'm thinking about you, or whatever you're going through, you're doing great because this is hard, like
yeah,
there's just so many like simple ways that I think that someone could show support um in that way, because we're all over the map, and I feel like I'm talking
absolutely,
all over the map too, but I feel
absolutely.
like that's like that's like the authenticity of it, right?
Yeah,
Like
it really is. It really is. It's
so
all over the map,
yes,
good days, bad days, all good.
yes, exactly, so
and keeping it all together. And so I'm just remembering right now because this is human and all, like to the point that we talked about writing things down in random places.
Yeah.
Um, but I did not mention at the top of the show like that this live is sponsored by our friends at Splitify, who we love,
yes,
and just want to so Splitify is a whole platform. It's a divorce operating system. And one of the beautiful things about it, and I think it fits really well having here, is that in addition to helping you like organize the logistics, and it's very data driven as a tool, which we need, a beautiful part of it that is about how you're feeling and emotions and awareness about how you're feeling, which connects really well to what we're talking about here, and acknowledging the grief and how long it lasts, and that all of that is walking right alongside, well, when is this filing due?
right,
Well, what's the schedule? What do I have to do? All of those things are part of this sort of ecosystem, but at the heart of it, we are human and there's emotion there,
Yeah.
yeah,
and there's, you lean into it, right? Like when you're sending something, when you're supporting, and then there are times that you have to like lean out of it because
Yeah.
frankly,
hmm,
emotions can't drive the car, as my very wise therapist, told me early on, is that, Bethany,
Yep.
like anger can be in the car with you, but anger can't have the keys, or whatever you're feeling. And so it's a really, again, it really dovetails nicely, but Splitify does a beautiful job of creating data over drama, and so you can use it the feelings are there because that's fair, and we all have them to
Yeah.
navigate as part of this process.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm gonna check it out
Yeah.
for sure.
And it's, none of it's happening. Right? So, like, just to have everything kind of at your fingertips, Splitify's done a beautiful job of like making it accessible, bite-sized, and feeling like, you can handle it, like all of it. So we just want to shout them out. We, appreciate them sponsoring the show, and we are also so excited for their like official launch. So if you're
Cool.
going through it, we highly recommend that you check out Splitify to see how they can help you, because I know that they can. But
It
I also just had a
oh,
crazy, not a crazy idea, but like I was like, when Bethany was sharing like about her therapist saying like the keys to the car, because we say that all the time. It's like, is there a line of cards that's like what my therapist said? Because like I just feel like the nuggets that I exchange with people about like what their therapists tell them, I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like this is therapy. Like
Yeah.
it's
There's a
just
lot.
like
I mean,
so
there's a
many
lot
words
of
of wisdom.
I don't know if there's like actual lines like around. I'm sure there is. I've seen a
Yeah,
number of cards that are written like, the friends, the therapy, like my therapist, my free therapist, like all those kinds of
right.
oral lines, right? Like that my friend with my therapist with wine, or all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure like my therapist was a yogi, so like she taught me
Ooh,
all kinds of like great techniques, like grounding techniques and like breathing techniques and like
that's
all kinds of great
amazing.
stuff. That was great. It was great.
I love
But
it.
yeah, I mean, I think that I guess it's supposed to be like between you and your therapist, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of really funny things. I think that like if there was a line of cards that said that, there could be some funny things that came out of
Oh
it.
yeah, absolutely. But I love exchanging therapy nuggets. They're always insightful.
Yeah, absolutely,
right.
absolutely. Mine was a long time ago. I'd have to think. I'm sure I had some great ones though. But yeah, I can't
Yeah.
remember some of the breathing techniques though. That's just another good example of like what positive coping mechanisms could I put in place that would like reground me and like take me out of my like fight or flight, and
Yes.
like
Hmm.
journaling and like all the different things that you can do to try and
Mm-hmm.
like just be mindful of the process, and allow yourself to kind of move through it and go through it, because you don't want to like hold on to it and get stuck in it, but you also you kind of have to go through it, I guess. And it is a process for sure.
Yeah,
Not my
absolutely.
Right.
favorite one, not my favorite one by any means, but
Right. Well, exactly. Well, it's also, I mean, for those of us here that are parents, like I feel like one of the things that someone told me early on, or they wrote in a card, because this is the early 2000s, they wrote, "You will sleep again." And when I read that card, like I was still pregnant, I hadn't had my oldest, and I was like, "What does that even mean?"
Oh my God.
And then, I realized like, 3 weeks in to the child actually being here, like, oh, that is what she meant by
yeah,
that.
yep.
So there's something beautiful about cards that have a little bit of instruction and wisdom, of experience. And I think that that's, as we close, that's one of the things that makes your work so beautiful, Vicky, is that you're bringing these really rich experiences, like your life experiences, changing a career, as a young adult, to navigating divorce, to single parenting, to therapist who is a yogi, all of these like really, rich milestones you bring to your work. And
Hmm.
then we all are the beneficiaries of that. So if you can tell everyone where they can find you, learn more about your work, and how really you have lines of things. We talked a lot about greeting cards, but there's so much that you offer in your shop, that people need to know about, because they make great gifts, and we also love supporting a small business. I mean,
Oh, well,
let's
thanks.
shout you out for that, especially as the
Yes.
holidays. So yes, please share that.
Yeah, sure. You can learn more about me as an artist at vickybrown.com, and like how you can license my work and how like other businesses and places that my work has been. I launched my own line of greeting cards in January, called Barone and Company. You can go to baroneandco.com, and that's where you can find my own published greeting cards. I don't have divorce cards yet, but I think it might. I don't know. But it's just growing. It just launched in January, so I would love any feedback anybody has. So that's kept me busy this year for sure. You can follow me on Instagram. Like I usually share, colorful positivity, sometimes grounded in reality. Try and share some humor. So yeah, I would love to have anybody reach out. So
Wonderful.
uh,
Well, we thank you for joining us. Like we just had an idea, like let's have Vicky. We love her so much, and
Yeah.
she her work is amazing, and this is an important topic because again, divorce is happening all around us, but people don't really actively talk about what it looks like to support someone
yeah.
and to have meaning. Let me put Vicky's Instagram. Thank you, Mike.
Well,
Mike said
thanks.
put the Instagram in the chat. It's Vic Corberone, right?
Yeah, Vicky underscore Barone. Got the underscore in
Yeah.
there because, I just wanted to complicate
Okay.
things. I'm honored to
We
be here.
understand.
I'm really happy that you guys asked me to come on and talk about this. Again, I was actually really nervous. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say because I don't talk about it very often. So I think it's a
Hmm.
really
Mhm.
special thing that you guys are growing in this community because I think that a lot of my really close friends here are other people that have gone through it, right? And we've like bonded through this experience, and you guys obviously have as well. I think it's a shared experience that I think that I believe in everything that you're doing, trying to make it a more positive conversation and supporting people that have to go through it. So, thank you so much for having me on. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And thanks,
Yes.
Josh, for all
Thank
the kind
you.
words. So,
Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
well,
Thank you for the kind
they're
words.
all true.
well,
Hmm.
thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, they're
And
all
thanks to
so
everybody
true.
else, too. Yeah.
I know. Thanks for being here today, everybody, and thanks again to Splitify for like being a tool that like I had, a few years ago, like many people wish they had,
Hmm.
just like this tonight's insight too. Take care, everyone.
Yeah.
And we hope to see you too. Oh, is that
Bye,
Kevin? Oh my
Kevin.
gosh.
Hi.
I'm sorry. Like we're seeing all these
No,
people.
it's
Yay.
okay. You
Love
guys
you
know new
guys.
people.
I know. I
Bye.
know. We'll see you next week.
Bye,
Bye,
guys. Thanks so
friends.
much.
Bye, Vicky.
Bye.